I think, first of all, it's a great presentation. I like the spirit. I really like the personality reflected by the presentation. And the first time I feel that actually we are talking business here. Saying that there is some issues here. First of all, like you and all the others potential entrepreneurs here, to think big, not locally, but big, globally, a solution that will conquer the world. And again, the number here wouldn't work. I mean, investor would like to see in a range of 5 years a company that worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So I'm pretty sure that you can be a great entrepreneur personally, but think big and you'll make it.
I agree with your comments, and I don't know that it would work internationally because I don't know enough from your presentation and just in general of the bookings for other countries. I'd only be interested in if you could do it. Having said that, I find it interesting. It would work here in British Columbia. I don't know if the rest of it would work. I can see doctors liking the system of having other people book. So that would be, I wouldn't be interested because the revenue's not enough. I'm looking at 10, 20 times when I'm getting involved.
You told a very passionate story, and I'm excited. You mentioned UK as an example. I would have loved to see what is it about the UK. You know, the NHS in the UK, the National Health Service, is huge. You mentioned it, and you should have reflected it more on a global basis. You know, what is it that your product is going to make a difference in the marketplace? So I'm excited. You know, your tone is good. You told a good story, but my dollars are a bit. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it.
I think it's a very interesting idea, and I would invest if the returns were $790,000, $226 and 7 cents. And I make that point, and this is something that almost everyone is guilty of. You know, do you really think I care about, 8 significant digits? I don't. Actually, I care about the first digit, and certainly in a 10-minute presentation, I can't possibly absorb anything more than one digit, and notice how many zeros there are behind it. So 800,000, that's certainly close enough. And same thing with your 263% growth, call it 300%. We're not, I'm going to take a little bit of a different, or give you a slightly different opinion about your presentation. On the one hand, I thought it was very energetic. On the other hand, I felt that I got a sense that you were a little bit embarrassed about it. And, again, this goes back to this thing of, you got to believe, if you're embarrassed, I got no faith in you. You got to really, bring it to me. The other part of that, I felt that, I found myself reading the slide and not really listening to you because there was a lot of sort of ornamentation, these sort of long digressions about the details of how hard it is to get an appointment about, this happens and that happens and the other thing happens, and then a lightning bolt comes down from the sky. And there are some people who can pull that off.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs can pull it off. Utah Phillips, who's an entertainer, can pull that off. Jerry Seinfeld can pull that off. Robin Williams can pull it off. It's a hard thing to do. So you want to sort of think about that. I would have preferred to have a simpler, clearer story without so much elaboration.
A couple things real quick. Don't say it's a services business. Nobody invests in. I shouldn't say nobody. Venture capitalists don't invest in. So I'm building a product, and so are you. Actually, I think you're building a product. But you opened it up saying you're a services company. They just don't sell for very much. You also said a $300 CPM. You're dreaming. Never get $300 CPM for advertising. Because you said 0.3 cents per impression, which translates to $300 CPM, which is an order of magnitude off of what reality is good on a good day. It would be on a good day. $30 maybe is what you get for a CPM on advertising, but online. And 263%, these guys already said, is pretty low return on an investment with this kind of a risk. But the product, I think, is something that I would use, and I think everybody else in the room would use if it was there. So, good margin on it for sure.
This is the first company I would invest in, but I would want participation and non-dilution and a board seat because you need some help. But but if you're yeah, I know, I'm from the Silicon Valley, right? And participation, I did say that. I'm personally going through something, which is moving back to Canada after 10 years, and I today was calling up about an MSP card, and so you got me right where I live, and you told me a story that connected with me. Now, if I was somebody else, maybe you wouldn't have connected with me, but you did connect with me, and for me, that was something that I said, oh, maybe I'm going to learn something that I could use. So that was fantastic. Your story, like I said, I liked it. A 0.5% appointment conversion. Anybody who's planning to hit 0.5% conversion are planning to fail. So don't plan to fail. It's a typical Canadian thing. It's one of the things that drives me crazy. Canadians. We're aiming for 0.5% conversion. Oh, come on. Go home. Go golfing. I mean, there's no point. Your story about Intel, they started 20 years before that. Their first CPU was 4004, and they didn't start with that either. So,
I thought that's very profound.
okay. Well, I was designing computer systems in the 70s using Intel stuff. I remember. 2% of the population. So when you first started talking about your numbers, you're saying I multiplied all your numbers down, and it seemed like your market was 2% of the population. Yeah, you know, 75%, 25%.
Anyway, it's a bigger market than you're admitting.
I had more to say, but I didn't say
There's a business flaw here. The person who benefits is the patient. The person who pays is the doctor. For a doctor, free is too much. I have several clients that are struggling for the last 10 years to address bits and pieces of this. So you have to really go back to the basic market research and go way to town on it, because, yeah, we love the benefit, but we're not paying. And doctors won't. So, you know, it's a problem. All right.